Hi guys, it's Angela with Indie Styles Boutique. Welcome to our channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you're a subscriber, mwah, thank you guys so much for rocking with us. We love you. This is going to be a video on tumblers. If you have watched my channel or followed me for a minute, you know that, or maybe you have heard me say that I love doing tumblers. I love working with epoxy. It's just one of those things that just brings me joy as I am crafting. So we're going to talk about ways you can decorate your tumblers. I'm going to give you 5 ways specifically. We may get a little more. Who knows? But if you like what we do here, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, like it. If you like what we do on the page, subscribe. If you feel that someone else you know can learn from our videos and what we do, just share it. Thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to talk about, I'm going to give you at least 5 ways you can decorate a tumbler. So what you're going to need is some scissors. You need a squeegee tool. You're going to need some transfer tape. You're going to need some fabric. You're going to need some printable vinyl. You'll need some, this is removable vinyl here. We're going to look at some nail tape. Let's just jump in. Let's just go ahead and jump in. And as we work through it, or as I go through it, you can look and see what you'll need. And hopefully I'll explain it and I'll talk to you about what you'll need. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use vinyl. So I'm going to grab this cup here. I'm going to grab my cup holder. Guys, I just got this cup holder from Amazon. Let me tell you, I love it. It is amazing. It makes my life so much easier. I don't know why I was doing this the hard way, but I've learned the error of my ways, and I'm moving to better. So I'm trying to adjust this. So this is just this is vinyl. My favorite vinyl is Starcraft. It's right here. This is a Starcraft vinyl. You can get it from Vinyl One. You can get it from 143vinyl.com. So it used to be 651 vinyl, but now it's 143. So this is Starcraft vinyl. It's very inexpensive. This is a big roll and it lasts a long time. So let's go ahead and talk about how we want to apply the vinyl. So what you do is you find the vinyl image of your choice. And once you find that image, you know, size does matter. So I just measured my image out. And this tumbler here, this is just a round tumbler. I like these 20-ounce tumbler. I like these better because they're easier to epoxy. They're easier to get your designs on. It's just simply easier to work with. So I do like that. I'm looking for my other part of the design, which I have seen to misplace. That is a norm for me. But anyway, let's go ahead and just do this part. If I run across it, we'll finish it up. If not, I'll finish off camera. So, like I said, you find the image of your choice. Once you find the image of your choice, you're going to need a cutter. I use my Cricut Maker to assemble this. Send your image to your printer or to your cutter, size it correctly, and then to get it on your tumbler, once you have created the surface, the base surface, which this is glitter and epoxy, so I glittered it and then I epoxied it. I did tape it off. You see the different shades of glitter there. So I taped it off and just put different shades of glitter on. So now I'm ready to decorate it. So I just, after I print it out, put my tape down. I weeded it as well, so you'll need a weeding tool. Take your squeegee and just burnish it real good because you want to make sure that this comes off. There is a little heart there that is not going on this part of the tumbler, so I'm going to move that off. And then you just slide it over, center it about where you want. When I'm applying vinyl to a tumbler, I fold my vinyl in half and I place it where I want it, and I go from the center out. And that's with any tumbler, although this is an easier one to apply your vinyl to. I still do that method. So once you get your vinyl on, you can take your squeegee again and you can just burnish it out to get out any air bubbles. You want to get it nice and as flat as possible, because I'm going to epoxy this. So if you're going to take it back and put some epoxy on it, you want it to be as flat as possible. All right, so this decal is on the tumbler, and I'm just going to pull my tape back. Sometimes your image will come up with the tape, so you want to just pull it slow. You want gravity to pull that vinyl back onto the cup. Now this is applied, and if this was all I was putting on this tumbler, then I would be ready to epoxy it. But there's a saying I'm going to put on here, and I got to find it. So that's one way you can decorate your tumbler, and that's by using permanent adhesive vinyl. That's what this was. All right, so another way you can decorate a tumbler. Let's see. I have so many things out here. Okay, so we're going to talk about, since we're doing vinyl, this is removable vinyl. So I want to apply removable vinyl onto this tumbler. So as you can see, it's already taped off. But the reason I taped it off is because I was going to do another design for it. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this tape off, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to use this vinyl. Put that there. What I did was I went into Cricut. Excuse me. I went into Cricut and I created a square. The square was 2 inches wide, and I made it 11 inches wide, and the height was 2 feet. I'm sorry guys, I don't know what come over me. So as you can see, I'm just applying this to the tumbler, and I'm just gonna hold it. You hold it taut, and you want to get it on as straight as you can. Whatever that means to you, however you have to get this on. And you just work with it. Crafting is a good way to learn patience. So I'm leaving a little of the white at the rim, just to make sure I leave room for whoever owns this to drink out of it. Now, I'm messing with it because I want it to be as straight as possible. And then you also want to remember that when you get ready to epoxy this, you want it to be as flat as possible. So that's why I'm messing with it, and you hear me keep pulling it off and putting it back on. So there, now we have some overlap, which is okay if you don't want to cut it off. Some overlap is okay, but I'm going to go ahead and take that off. So this is printable vinyl. You can find so many different patterns with your printable, I can't speak tonight, don't know why, with your printable vinyl. You can find so many different patterns and everything. You can be as creative as you want. So we started out with permanent adhesive vinyl. Now we're using removable vinyl. And the only reason I even entertain this removable vinyl is because it's going under epoxy. So if you're going to put it under epoxy, you can use a removable vinyl. And yeah, it's giving me a challenge here. There we go. When you're putting something on an imperfect surface, you're going to have some issues, unfortunately. Oops. All right, so there we go. I'm getting it. Just have to be patient with this part. Oh, this vinyl, while I'm fooling with it, is from Hobby Lobby. It's a paper company vinyl. See, it's not lining up, so I'm going to try again, and then we'll get the slicing. We'll slice it. I may, where it's not coming the way I want it to, I may cut it. I'm trying to keep it taut, so that may be the problem. It may just want to not be held to that standard. Ah! Alright. If I wasn't on camera, I'd have this. You guys know that, right? But because I'm on camera and I'm trying to be great, it won't let me be great. So that's that. Now the cut was fine. The cut was perfect. I cut it with Cricut. So it was a straight cut. So that's not the problem. The problem is me trying to get it to lay the way it needs to. All right. I think we're getting there. All right, so there we go. It's a little off. And you can cut it. I was trying to just go in one round, but as I said earlier, you can't cheat the grind and you can't rush it. There we go. Oh, it's, look down. It went on. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down and just try to straighten it out. But there we go. So if you're going to do this, just cut it. Cut your, so I did 11 by 2 inches wide. So what I would do, again, if you're going to repeat this, is I wouldn't do the width. I would just do maybe 2 by 5. Just do 2 by 5. And then make 2 sheets of it so you can get it on. without having to work like I did to try to get it on evenly. It's still messing with me, but it's going on. It's not gonna not go on. So I'm just gonna line it up on this side, straighten it out, and see it goes on better. And you don't have to worry about the buckling or anything. And we did have a little overlap, but that's okay for the overlap. Because it'll still, it's not going to be too bulky for the epoxy to go on. All right, so there is my, and like I said, I'm just straightening it out. So it's on there. Remove any bubbles. And what I will do with this is just, so you want to burnish it, remove any wrinkles, any bubbles. And then what I'm going to do is just, so see it's on there now. And I will tape this part off and probably glitter it, pull some of these colors out with glitter. But yeah, that's removable. So we did permanent vinyl. This is removable vinyl. The next thing we're going to look at, I'm going to put this out of the way. Another way you can decorate your tumblers is by using, this is nail tape, and then this is washi tape. This is the Paper Studio, and I did get it from, oh gosh, Hobby Lobby. So if I were to, I don't even see anything that this, I don't have a cup prepped where this would match, but this is really, really thin. It's, all right, so let's put it on this one. Just because I said we were going to do ways we can decorate tumblers. So we're going to put it here. So this tape is very thin. I have nail tape and I have this washi tape. So you just open it up, find the opening, come on. And this is like super, super thin. So you just take this and you just want to apply it to your tumbler. And I want this down here where she is. Here we go again. And you just hold it taut and let it work around the cup. All right, so there's that. And you just cut it off. And there is the washi tape. So you can add accents. I guess the washi tape would be if you wanted to add an accent to your tumbler, then you could do that. The other way you can decorate your tumbler is by using fabric. Now I had a tumbler that I was going to decorate with this fabric and I lost it. So we're going to use this one. Some people would just use stainless steel, but this tumbler I have glittered the top and the bottom is alcohol ink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come and we're going to attempt to put this fabric on the cup. Hopefully it will go. So with this, you just, first of all, you have to get your measurements. So what I did, or what I'm going to do, is I'm going to take my fabric and I want to measure it out. Now I want to see how it's going to work this way. And then this way. All right, so it is enough to go all the way around without me being extra or running out and having to do something different with it. So I have seen people do this, and then they'll overlap their design just so it'll line up. And there's nothing wrong with us doing that. So I'm going to mark my tumbler. I'm going to mark where it, Sharpie, you'll need a Sharpie. I'm going to mark where it starts. So there's my line. And I'm going to fold it over, making sure I still keep my line visible. I want to get it as straight as possible. So we'll just leave that there. And there's my line. I'm going to cut a little bit over it. Okay. There we go. We've cut it. Let's see how this is going to work. I don't need the fabric anymore. I'm going to sit that there. And we are going to take this tag out, the piece that's hanging out. We're going to take that off. And it came right off. I got this, this is a scarf, and I purchased it from the Dollar Tree. All right, so you want to put it, you want to line it up. And I'm going to make sure that it works for what I'm doing. All right, so that works for what I'm doing. And my measure, as you can see, you may have guessed, my measurement is off because I don't want the entire cup covered. I only want part of the cup covered because I want that white glitter to shine through. So I'm going to roll it back over, and I'm going to mark where I want it, which is right there. I'm going to cut it again. All right. So I made my mark. So you just want to make your mark where you want to make the cut. And that's what I did. And I'm trying to keep it as straight as possible. But if you, for some reason, let's say it goes south and it doesn't really end up the way you want it to, you can always add some washi tape to it. You can always add, you can use some patterned vinyl on it. You can always add something. So this is what the cup is beginning to look like. Or this is what I'm hoping it's going to look like. All right, so I do have a little fraying here. These are fabric scissors, so they're Cricut brand. So I'm just going to cut it just a little bit to get rid of some of the fraying. Now, this is ready for me to apply. My goal is to get this truck, this Valentine's Day truck, on the cup as much as possible. All right, so now what you'll need is some Mod Podge. And I am going to Mod Podge it on. Let me make sure I have it lined up. want the truck to be the center. So we'll start. Oops. Didn't want that there. Oh, guys, when you're doing stuff like this, make sure you want to make sure that your cup is clean. Make sure whatever you're working with or working on is clean. So I'm just gonna put this, you could just Mod Podge it down and you just let it dry. Once it's dry, completely dry, you want to make sure it's completely dry, and then you want to epoxy it. Light coat of Mod Podge and just add it on. As you Mod Podge it, you can just straighten it out like I'm doing here with this. Oops. Probably if I, there we go. Oops. Okay. And just put it on, paint it on. Not heavy, just enough to get this to lie flat. And you just want to let it dry. The reason you don't want to put a lot on here is because it will dry stiff. And I wish I had bought my gloves. So I'm just going to make sure it's hot. And you want to finish Mod Podging it. And I'm just making, evening it up, lining it up. And I'm just going to smooth it out. I did not bring my gloves. Hate that, but this is glue, so I can wash my hands. Now I do feel the line there. And when I Mod Podge, when I epoxy it, that I may have to sand it there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish this part and let it dry. So this is the third way you can decorate your tumbler. I normally let this stuff dry overnight. You may, and that may be me being extra. You may not have to let it dry overnight, but that's what I do. And it could be me just being extra, but I let it dry overnight, and I'll come back and apply my first coat of Mod Podge. I mean, not Mod Podge, epoxy. All right, so I'm setting it up. I'm good with the, it's not moving. So I'm good with this. And I can move it and adjust it as long as it's wet. Once it dries, where it is where it is. All right. That's it. Just gonna put it all the way around, and I'm gonna still smooth this out. I have extra. I'm not really fond of having that extra there because I know it will harden. And once it hardens, you're gonna you'll feel it. So I'm just going around taking the excess off, and I'm gonna clean where it came on my cup, and you can see my seam. So what that probably will do is it will end up being sanded at some point. But I won't know how much I'll have to take off until, I'll have to sand it down until I put my first coat on. But it will have to be sanded down. Now I have some strings here that is frayed, but I actually like that because it looks like it's going up into the design. So that's another way you can create or decorate your tumbler. That's 1, 2, 3 methods you can use. Fourth method is you can use a decal. You can use decals. I like these. I tend to, hold on one second, I'm grabbing the tumbler. I tend to buy these at Dollar Tree. I really like them. So what you do, I'm looking for something to clean my hands. I found a wipe. So I'm going to take this wipe and clean my hands really quick. I should have had gloves for that Mod Podge, but it's, like I said, it's glue, so it should be okay. All right, so I just cleaned my hands. I have my little trash bag here. So now you can just get, like I said, I got this from Dollar Tree, and this cup has been epoxied. It's also, I made this design with some acrylic paints. I am going to do a video on that, how I achieved that look. So this says focus on the good, and I want that to be on this cup. But you can use a decal. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 ways you can decorate your tumblers. Let's see. First, you want to just peel off the excess. And I'm going to grab a piece of my tape, my amazing tape, and just turn it over, let gravity do its thing. And there you go. Now this, I have a design that I did not have to create on any cutter. So if you're using stickers and so on, you don't need a cutter for it. But that's a way you can decorate your tumblers. So there, that one's done. I did little to no work. Other than burnishing it. Okay. Yep. There we go. And I do try to go in and I'll smooth it out more, because when you're using epoxy and you're doing these tumblers, any buckle or wrinkle that is evident, the epoxy it's gonna have a fit with it. It's not gonna, it'll level it out, but it won't level it out to the point to where it just gets rid of it. So you have to just be careful when you're adding these things. All right, there's a little buckling there, so I'm just taking my weeding tool, getting some separation between the cup and the sticker. And I'm just going to pull it down and get that out of there, because we do not want that in there at all. There we go. You want all the bubbles out. You don't want any bubbles or any wrinkling or anything like that. You want to keep that at minimum, because that means, well, it just means you'll have to go back and sand more. And I like the finished product. I like to get to where I'm going. Grandma's house. All right, so this one is ready. So you can use stickers. You can use permanent vinyl. You can use removable vinyl. you can use fabric. Now, as this is drying, keep an eye on it. I'm going back through and I'm pulling off excess. Because if you look at my cup, you can see where it started to buckle. So I'm going to go back in there and pull that excess Mod Podge off. That's where I got too happy, too generous with it. So I'm just going to come back in and pull that down. Now this is going to be a pretty cup, but I will use washi tape where it's a little frayed around there. I don't know. You know what? That may give it some vintage look. May give it a little vintage look. So I will keep an eye on this fabric tumbler. But yeah, I'm glad I looked at that because I saw where it buckled up, and that is not what we want. So just let that do its thing. So there we go. Still gonna dry. I think I've gotten a good bit of that Mod Podge off. So there's that. Now this one here, this is a tumbler I use glitter on. So don't know if what I'm trying to do is going to work, but we're going to see. You can also use printable paper for your designs. Now the problem with this one is it does not fit. It's too short, but I love these ladies. So I can either slide them in here. Let's see. I can either I can do 2 sleeves of them here and here and then let that be blue, or I can try to figure out how to, or I could not try to figure out, I could wrap it. Let me see. I could wrap it around and then I could take another sheet, which I have one somewhere, and come back and, oh, here it is. You can make it work that way, and you can have that all the way through. But I think I want to just measure out my white space. So there's a white piece of white space. We'll see, guys. We'll see how this is going to work out. You know what? These used to have where you could measure on them, but that one doesn't. So I'm measuring the first part of the white space to the second part of the white space, which is right there. All right, we're gonna see how this is gonna work for us. So I'm gonna see. I don't think that's big enough, and it's not. I wonder if it's just that. Yeah, no, I just did not measure it correctly. All right, so this, we'll have this one here. Let's see if we go here to here. All right, so either way, we're gonna be, somebody's gonna get cut off. So somebody's getting sliced. Okay, let's see. I gotta see how it's gonna look. All right, so we could do measuring. I'm actually using the actual cup to measure, but I could have just grabbed a piece of or measuring tape and use it. Let's see how this is going to work. I don't know. Okay. I'm just cutting it. This paper came from Hobby Lobby. It's part of the Paper Studio collection. All right, let's see how this is going to look. All right, so when you're using paper, you're going to apply it the same way you would if you were using fabric, which is with Mod Podge. So you find the paper that you want, and you can find paper that's going to go all the way around your cup, but I like this paper. I like these ladies, so that's why I ended up getting it. And you just want to Mod Podge it down until it stays. Once it stays, you have a little more freedom to apply Mod Podge. And like your fabric, this is up a little bit. I use the lip of the cup as my guide, but like with your fabric, you don't want to use too much, but you want to use enough to where it starts to stick to your cup. And once it starts sticking to your cup, you can have a little more freedom. But until it sticks, you gotta put that elbow in there. Put that elbow grease there. All right, so don't use too much, it'll stiffen up. First time I did this method, oh my gosh, I was a rookie. I put it all on the cup, and it got stiff. I used too much, I know that. But then it got stiff, and I didn't see the project through. I got what is it? Once bitten, twice shy. I didn't do it anymore. I just let it go. All right, so see, this is not moving. You see, I'm moving it. I'm adding the Mod Podge on. You want to make sure that you get good coverage, even strokes. I do have the cutter where you can cut the end of the cut the bottom of it off. I do have that. All right. You want to make sure you get that bottom too. That bottom has to stay. It has to adhere to your cup. Because if you don't get that bottom on there, when you put epoxy on it, that epoxy is going to slide right under there. All right, so you may have to apply 2 coats if this is your first time doing it this way, just so you can get used to it, get the hang of it. And I'm just going to Mod Podge this whole cup. This glitter is dry, so it's not like the glitter is gonna contaminate the Mod Podge, because it is dry. I've already done it. All right, so this one is going. I actually like the way it looks, because it looks like they're getting lost into the glitter, which I like. I think it's neat. All right, y'all. You just keep applying your Mod Podge until this does not move anymore. Up top it's good, and seal the bottom still. It's getting there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but yeah, it's getting there. So like I said, you don't want that opening for when you start to epoxy, because that epoxy will go right under there, and you'll be sitting there with a cup that you can't cure, you can't get to do what you want it to do, because the Mod Podge is, I mean, the epoxy, sorry, I'm tired. I have been working so much between flying and the salon and then getting these videos out for you guys. I'm tired. All right, so there's that one. We're gonna try to get this one on as well. Oops. I know better, because this stuff not cheap. And I had the nerve to get a big one. Yeah. Just start applying it to where you want it to help the you want this to adhere to your cup. So you want to put the Mod Podge on where it will start to adhere to it. The top, for some reason, did really well. It's the bottom that didn't want to act right. All this Mod Podge does is breaks that paper down, makes it wet to where it will stay and won't move around. And that's what it does, and that's what you want it to do. And I'm just getting it ready, good and ready. I'm sorry if this video is super long for those who don't like long videos, but I wanted to show you guys options for your tumblers. I actually like this. It turned out better than what I thought in my head that it would come out. So this, as you can see, it is adhering to the cup, which is what we want. And I'm just going to go back and smooth it out. I most likely will apply another coat of Mod Podge because I want this paper to be adhered to the cup. I don't want it to have a buckle at the top. There is no space, but at the bottom where the paper tends to try to hug the bottom, it's just sticking out, so it's not working like I want it to. This Mod Podge does dry clear, so I'm gonna put that over there. I'm gonna grab my fabric and see that looks good. Yep. No buckling other than where I knew it was gonna buckle. And like I said, I will probably have to sand that. But this looks good. I like that. So I'm probably gonna put some washi tape around to make a separation there and make it kind of Valentine-esque. So that's that. That's how many ways. We had a permanent vinyl, removable vinyl, we did a sticker, we did fabric, we did printed paper, and let's see, there is another way. When you finish working with this stuff, you know, go ahead and make sure you put it in a hot water. Put it in some hot water. Oh, this is another way you can decorate your tumbler. You can use Printable Vinyl. So this is the Cricut brand. You don't have to have the Cricut brand. That's just what I happen to have on hand. So you want to grab a cup. This one I made with printable ink. And I want to add, I printed this out on the printer on my Epson 4734 or something like that. So you just, this is just about as simple as you're gonna get. I printed it out. This is the alcohol ink cup. I'll do a video on that, on how I did that. So you just peel and stick. That's all you do, peel and stick. All of my tumblers, when I start working on a tumbler, I do wash them. Dawn dishwashing soap. I'll run them through dishwasher, or I'll wash them with the Dawn dishwashing soap. And I just apply this the same way as I do anything else. I just fold it, place it through the middle, get one side, go on the other side. That simple. She's ready. Now, that's all I'm gonna do to this cup. I'm gonna put it, I'll coat it with some epoxy, but that's it. This cup is done. It's pretty much a wrap. Yeah, so that's it, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ways you can decorate your tumbler. Everything that I used was either purchased at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or Amazon. So I don't have any, or 143vinyl.com. So hopefully you guys will get your creative juices going and you will try some of these methods. I will do a video on how I achieved this look on the tumbler. I'll also do a video on how I got this with acrylic paints. I also have a video, well, I'll do a video on this one. This is me playing with this glitter to get this custom look. So stay tuned. Again, if you like the video, hit the like button. If you like what we do on the channel, subscribe. We'd love to have you as a Andy Styles viewer, and happy crafting.